And good happy birthday to you. I don't know whose birthday it is, and I also have to be kind of quiet because even though this is a welcome to my what? My brain just went three different places at once. Welcome to another talk from the bathroom floor. I have to be quiet because it's midnight. And there are people sleeping. But I decided, you know what? Right now it's a nice time for a quiet little discussion. And this morning's discussion, can we discuss that? Can I just mention, it's weird that, the day, do I call it morning or do I call it night? Because it's dark. But then sometimes when you wake up and it's dark, if I fall asleep at 6 p.m. and I woke up at 1 a.m., would I call it morning or would I still call it nighttime? These are the things the English language can teach me. I was going to talk about Hallmark Channel and my obsession, but I feel like there's too much passion. I think I'm going to start yelling. But all I have to say about that, so basically all I can say right now is don't be a hater on my favorite thing. So instead what I'm going to talk about is about how weird it is that, isn't it weird that humans exist? It's weird that humans exist. It's also weird that, everybody communicate. Isn't it weird that, we communicate with words? That's a crazy God design. God designed that, and that's wild. Because, how do we just make sounds and we're like, yeah, that has this, depth of thought. That's a crazy thing. That's crazy. That's crazy. People have thoughts. People think in different languages. I've been studying French a lot because I'm trying to be a bilingual. Not to a crazy extent. I don't need to be perfect in my fluency. I just want to be able to be better than where I'm at. I want to be able to watch weird French TV and not have to read the subtitles. You know what I mean? That's my only goal. And then after I finish French, the issue is though, because I'm studying French, right? And I've studied on and off since I was 8th grade, the summer before high school. And so I've studied quite a long time. But for a long time I wasn't in the books. But now being fun employed, I had the opportunity to study. So I'll be studying, I'll be reading, I was watching a K-drama with the subtitles in French because I couldn't understand it anyway. And so I'm my brain be working. It's chugga 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 chugga. And I just want to be able to I want to watch TV, I want to watch French shows on YouTube because I already do that. And I understand a lot of it, but I want to really understand. You know what I mean? That's all. I just want to be confident in my language skills, but I also am impatient because I would like to be better at Spanish because there's a lot of Spanish speakers and I'm it would probably be good, even though I'm a little white boy, that I know some Spanish because I know some basic stuff, but I feel like there is such a world of possibility if I could actually understand more Spanish, and I'd love to go travel more to the South. I'd love to go see some crazy little things going on in Central and South America, but I can't because I'm a little white boy who doesn't understand Spanish. And I can't speak it. It's also so scary to speak another language. You're are they going to judge me? Ew. But I'm trying. I'd like to try. But also, I have other languages I want to learn too. Because I've been watching all the Korean dramas, so all I want to be is mi hentai 감사합니다. You know what I mean? Where I'm I want to be a strong Korean man, even though I'm not Korean. But maybe I'll learn that next. I don't know. As fun as Spanish is, I also am could I learn something I won't use, but I think is fun still? It's difficult. Also, I've been watching the show Vikings, and I'm oh my gosh, should I learn a Nordic lingua? Icelandic would be cool, but I'm it also seems very difficult for my brain. But like maybe Swedish or Norwegian. And my cousin, I think, speaks Swedish. So maybe I could talk with her and be like, we can speak Swedish together. That sounded creepy. It's not weird. I just do weird things with my tongue sometimes. No, I don't. I'm rather bored. I don't do that kind of stuff. It is crazy that people like it's crazy that we're designed to like have sex. You know what I mean? That's a weird talk for the second one, but like I don't need to get into that right now. I don't need to get into that right now. I'll be trying to like bring the sexualness of my brain down a little bit. I used to be like, oh my gosh, I should just get rid of all of it. And then I realized that's not uh, that's not how we're designed. We're not designed to be like anti-sexual. We're designed to have like sex in a certain capacity, but like also have I been following that my whole life? Probably not. But we are working on that. We're working on that one step at a time. Trying to become the man I want to be, and part of that is not being a hoe. So there's that. Um, that's part of it. So we're working on that. It's it's taking steps in progress, but we're one day at a time. Um, where was I going? Languages. Oh my goodness. I've studied a lot of languages. Not a ton. I feel like I've studied at least like a month or two or six, like really invested in other languages, like Italian. My Italian was moving forward, and now I forgot a ton of it. Spanish was the same way, but I feel like I've retained more Spanish because like there's more of it around. Like it's more likely for me to be like, oh, I kind of recognize what they're saying. I also listen to Spanish music because y'all, I be a wiggly little man. I be wiggling all day, every day. Okay, half of my lifting and my workouts are just me like wiggling and me being like. Anyways, I've studied a lot of languages. I studied Chinese. The first one after French. I think it was Italian. And then I studied Chinese for like 6 months. And I was moving along. I felt like I was getting it. I felt like I was understanding a decent amount. I was like, figuring out some of the characters. I was like, I could read some of the characters, like the super simple ones. Like, I'm eating, I'm acting, I'm talking, this is parts around the house, this is food, this is planets, these are numbers, stuff like that. Where it's like the really basic stuff. And then like I kind of understand hearing wise. I was like I can kind of picture if you spoke really basic phrases, I could understand that. But then now it's just Japanese was the same way. I could actually like I could I could at least pick out like I was good with hiragana and katakana. Kanji, there's so many kanji. There's so many kanji. It's why. Why do you make things hard? I get it. It's art. It's beautiful. It's amazing. I think it's wonderful. It's just very hard for a little man like me to learn. And talking, I was getting some of it. I was like, okay, I'm figuring out some of it. I feel like when I went to Japan, I was like, I understand what these people are saying in these basic phrases. I was getting them basic phrases. I was on like, I was done with, I was in like Japanese level two. You know what I mean? Where it wasn't like, I'm not basic. I'm not advanced, but I'm basic. You know what I mean? So I wonder if I could remember that. But I've been spending too much time watching Korean shows. I'm like, should I watch Japanese shows? I feel like that'd be a crazy thing. Um, well, I think like German, I was like, well, German is fun. It's also so much simpler because I'm like, it's just very straightforward. The Germans are very straightforward. Also, their sentence structure very similar to ours. So I'm like, that is wonderful. Thank you for being German. Thank you for creating German languages because it's easy to understand. What other languages have I studied? Those are the main. Oh, we studied Finnish because I was like, Finland exists, and nobody gives love to Finland. Okay, it doesn't get enough love. Everyone always focuses on Norway and Sweden and Iceland, and I'm like, ugh. Finland. Finland got their own Hallmark movie this year. Past the Finish Line, y'all. Such a good movie. It was ridiculous. A dog racing movie? Hallmark Channel gave me a dog racing movie that takes place in Finland with a silly little Finnish man and a silly little plot line and it had love and it had scary feats of heroinism and amazing, just silly, fun romance and love and passion and it was so good. It was so good and it took place in Finland. Northern Lights, amazing. But yeah, I studied Finnish for a long time. I can't remember a single thing from it other than like Suomalainen, Suomalainen. That's and Paika. That's about all I remember. And tuttu. Because it took me forever to be like, why are the Y and the O the same letter? Why are they pronounced the same? But yeah, languages are just so fun. It's crazy how like people, you like start somewhere. Like languages was all one spot, and then it just like it just like because you had the Tower of Babel, but that was only a few languages. That was like it wasn't every language because now like Latin developed into a number of different things. I'm guessing. I feel like here's my hypothesis. Here's my theory. There's a ton of different like African languages are extremely diverse. There's like a billion of them. And there's the same thing with a lot of Indian languages. And so I'm wondering, this is my little brain, my little historyness thinking. And I'm thinking those languages probably happened at the Tower of Babel. There are probably some other ancient ones that have just like disappeared. And we're like, where did you go? We don't know. We don't know where you went. But that's my theory. I don't know. I feel like that'd be a fun little thing. But I won't know. Because no one knows. Because there'd be a million different languages. And we can pretend they're related. Also, linguistic people, crazy for thinking that certain languages aren't connected. And that like these language trees and stuff. I'm like, how you gonna figure that out? Were you there? No. It makes sense. They've done a lot of research. They probably know. But I want to be a hater. So I want to be stubborn and choose not to. No, they probably found out. They found out a lot of different stuff. But it is crazy to be like, but what if it began somewhere else? What if something else happened? You know what I mean? There's always interesting things to culture. So you always gotta be on the move. But languages are crazy that like people think and they act in different ways. It's just super cool. It's super neat. And it's so crazy people make up their languages like Klingon. Y'all, how do you do that? And written language, like the unknown talking, like how, like Pokemon was really smart for that of like coming up with. They were like, we're gonna make a Pokemon in the shape of letters, and we're gonna write it. And then they also made the Pokemon alphabet in the Pokemon world. That's crazy. Bakugan, like they had their own alphabet. Ninjago, Lego Ninjago has their own alphabet. Y'all, I should have. Maybe that's what I should learn. My language of choice is gonna be Lego Ninjago. Imagine that at a job interview. You go in, you're like, guess what, guys? My job, Lego Ninjago. For some reason, this is on a completely other tangent. I'm reminded of the fact that I was talking. I was at church this Sunday, right? And so my friend came up and hugged me from behind, and there was like this old dude, and he was like, "Oh, it looked like a sneak attack." Oh, and I was like, "Wouldn't it be crazy if we were at church and we added like a WWE SmackDown element to it?" Like what if we like I think that would get a lot of response. Most of it I think positive. Like, could you imagine just being in a service and just being like, "It's time, guys." I think if pastors were regularly WWE SmackDowning, first off, keeping the people safe. You know what I mean? Like, if you can WWE SmackDown people, I don't know why I keep saying I can't phrase it in any other way. If you can't like knock out other people, that's so lame. I prefer WWE SmackDown. Anyways, if you can't knock out people, you know what I mean? It's like you're protecting your congregation. That's dope. And then also, think about how many young people, especially young, like, 10-year-old boys, are gonna be like, that's freaking dope. Like, church is where I beat people up, which sounds bad. It sounds a little bad. But if it's consensual, like, if it's not like, you're not beating each other up, you're just like, what if the churches had, like, soft floors? You know what I mean? Like, if it was a soft floor, would you be willing to get WWE SmackDown? And, like, you wouldn't choose, like, the old people or, like, the children. It'd just be, like, John. Just be, like, Bill. And Bill's a fun guy. So, yeah. I don't know. That'd be crazy. Be really funny, kind of unfortunate, but also really funny. I kind of want to go. I kind of want to see that. I don't know what kind of message would go along with that kind of event, but I think that'd be really fun. Anyways, I hope that this was productive. This felt productive for me. Sometimes I just have thoughts and I just have to get them out, and this is what this is. Because I'm talking on the bathroom floor at probably almost 12, about just past midnight. So we're just wiggling with it. And guess what? I feel this way during the day too. I don't function better any time of day. I can function like a proper adult, like a proper young man indeed. But I also need a space to talk. So that's what this is. A little diary. I don't have a little journal. Maybe I should. I've tried like so many times, and the issue is I'm kind of boring. So now I have like a part time. Like I use it in my it's in my little what's it called, devotional notebook, right? So like the first part is I write down like scriptures, things that I've read, things that like stood out to me, and it just lets my ideas flow, lets the thoughts flow. Because sometimes some of them make a lot of sense. And I'm like, wow, I'm the only person ever who's possibly thought of these connections within the Bible. And then other times it's just like, scripture that I'm like, I should remember this. I feel like this would make me probably a better man if I did that. But also, that's why you write like really tiny. A little tiny man. If I was really small, those words would be huge. But I'm not really, really small because I'm human. Anyways, yeah. What was I saying? Oh, my journal. Oh, yeah. And so I wrote my little scripture. I wrote my little verse of the day. Stuff that makes me, I feel like very professional. I feel like very proper Christian when I do that. I'm like, good for me being talented. No, it's good. It's also a way that I can memorize stuff. I was doing a good job about actually memorizing. Now I'm like, I probably should. Am I gonna though? We'll see. I probably should. But I do that, and I put little things that I'm thankful for because that's part of the growing up thing of like I should write things I'm grateful for so I don't keep being a Grumposaurus Rex all day long. Okay, I get it. Um, and then I write things that I did with my day. So like most of the time it's really boring because I'm like, I sat, I played music, I read my little books, I worked out, I had a little dance party, I saw my friends. Like stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I think it's still fun. It's still good. I think it'll at least like I'd like to do more, but I also don't have. I'd like an official notebook for it. You know what I mean? Like I have a million paid normal notebooks, but I'm like that's not. I need a format. I used to be like I used to be very anti-format of a person, and I kind of am, but I'm also becoming so much more of a space cadet. In addition to like not only is my brain shutting down, along with my eyes, because My astigmatism has been getting awful. Like when I drive at night, I'm like, I'm blind. I don't. Whatever. That's showbiz, baby. I don't know what to tell you. I'll be driving. I'm like the fact that people don't see lines. Like when I look up at this ceiling light, and I'm like, other people don't see the rays of light bursting off of it like a firework. I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Why are my eyes like this? But anyway, driving at night, very scared. Yeah. So this has been nice. I hope any amount of this was cohesive. And I hope you have a lovely, blessed day. Night, morning, whatever time this is. I feel like these videos are like a 4 a.m. kind of video. You know what I mean? It's like, you're not watching it at like noon. Like, this is not something you stumble on at like noon. Like, this is not a daytime video. This is like I'm half awake listening to a strange little man just talk. And I keep calling myself a strange little man, and I do feel a little bit like it's like a pick-me kind of thing, where I'm like, I'm quirky, guys, but it's also like, at a certain point you have to be like, I'm talking to myself at midnight on a Wednesday, I guess on Thursday, in my basement, in a bathroom on the floor. So I can't really defend myself and say that like that's super well functioning of you. But you know what? That's showbiz, baby. So that's where I'm gonna end it. Have fun.